series where we talk about all things real estate. I'm in my season 2, y'all. Can you believe it?
Wow, okay.
So last time I was in my car, so you have to check those out. But we are here at Providence Title with Memory White. Yes, attorney Memory White. Did we say that, or is it Esquire?
It's just memory.
It's just Memory. All right. So Memory, I wanted to talk about closings and what clients can expect when it comes to closings. And one of the big things that I wanted to also talk about is what to expect and what we need to inform our clients to prepare for probates or any type of estate sales. What would you recommend?
So the first thing is to determine the date of death of the person who has passed. If they have passed and 6 months have not passed since their date of death, and there is no will, I highly recommend waiting until 6 months have passed from the date of their death. The reason being is that if 6 months have passed since they have died and you then close, the heirs can receive proceeds at the table.
Oh,
Okay? Your buyer will take as a bona fide purchaser, and money can be transferred at closing, and everyone goes on about their merry way. If you close before 6 months have passed, then the money, generally depending on what title underwriter the title company uses, the monies will have to be held for a year from the date of death. So a lot of times that is not beneficial to the heirs. The other option or way around that is to open an estate, which can be costly and time consuming, and the funds can be paid there as well. If a person has a will, perfect, that is perfect.
Okay, best case scenario.
Exactly, and then in that case, the funds are paid into the estate.
Okay.
If the person dies without a will, we as the title company will prepare a document called an affidavit of heirship. The heirship affidavit is generally signed by a non-heir, disinterested party who has known the decedent for the bulk of their lifetime.
Okay.
And this document confirms whether the decedent was married at the time of their death, who their living children are, who their deceased children are. So it's very important that it is someone who has known the decedent during their childbearing years. And then we record that, and then that is what brings those heirs into play as it relates to being on title.
Okay, because we want to make sure, as it sounds to me, you want to make sure that all the heirs have had an opportunity to be notified and come forward.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And so the biggest thing with that is just to make sure that the information is valid, because unfortunately, sometimes it's not. And then that opens another can of worms.
And we get into, you sold Mama's house before I had a chance to be a part of that process.
Or you all left me out, or, so, but title insurance generally will protect a buyer if they are purchasing a home and something of that nature happens. Technically, probates and estates are one and the same, okay?
Yeah.
But if the person has the will when they pass, everything's already stated how they want it to be distributed, who it goes to.
Okay, so the probate and the estate will go, the will will go together.
Yeah, so
but the estate is more so upfront planning in line.
Yes, estate planning, exactly. Yeah, so it's the estate is the property that is owned by the decedent, okay? And then you probate once the will is drafted, which this is important. Once you have a drafted and executed will and a person dies, it's not valid until it's probated. It has to be probated.
Thank you for that.
And the estate is then opened.
Gotcha.
With the probate court.
Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
a good explanation.
Yeah, so it's open with the probate court, and then they go through that process. Okay, the probate process. And again, it does make things a lot easier because the decedent has already outlined their wishes as it relates to who gets what. What we find is when that doesn't happen, then people are at odds, they're upset, families fall apart, and it's sad to see that.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it's sad to see brothers and sisters not talking over
Fighting over China.
mama's property or whatever, you know.
I wanted the China. I wanted the jewelry. She
Yeah.
promised me the wedding ring.
Yeah, exactly. So, I highly recommend that everyone get a will. But if not, then of course we do have the option to prepare the heirship affidavits or affidavits of heirship, which will outline who the heirs are and the blood heirs children's spouse would receive.
Well, we heard it from memory. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Part 2 of our closing entitled segment. So it's my summer series talking about all things real estate. And again, thank you, memory.
Thank you.
Title.